What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here at GSD Studios. First off, I want to thank you for watching the show. I truly appreciate your support. I know it's annoying, but please listen to the entire intro before the podcast begins, as I really need your help. So before we jump in, just a few quick favors, you guys. Number one, please share the show with anyone you feel that will benefit. This truly helps grow the show and has a massive impact on many lives. So please go out there, share the show. Sharing is caring, right? Number two, if you have not already, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please leave a 5-star review on iTunes and in Stitcher, again, if you have not done so already. Number three, make sure that you join the private GSD Mode Facebook Mastermind group. If you go to www.gsdmode.com, you'll see a link, a button right there on the home page that you can click and request to be added to that group right away. And lastly, I want to give our sponsors a quick shout out that make this show entirely possible. Our first sponsor is my personal 90-day mastery bootcamp. This is my personal mentorship training program where I give you everything that I do inside my business. You get my entire playbook, you guys. We have 12 live 3+ hour long sessions. Each session we go so in depth on exactly what I do inside my real estate team and how I operate my business. Plus there's a lot of different bonus sessions. You get access to everything I do inside my business on my tracking forms, presentations, checklists, lead generation tactics, lead follow-up tactics, team contracts, and much more. There's absolutely nothing that I withhold from you that you don't get access to. Plus you get daily access to me inside the group. So this is hands down the most effective and affordable real estate training program on the planet. Check us out, www.90daymastery.com, or click the link below to learn more about that. If you do join, make sure to plug in promo code Live Mastery. That's all caps, all one word, all together, which will save you $500. Make the whole entire program like $997, or 3 payments of $333. Our next sponsor number 2, is perfectstormnow.com. This is an insanely effective lead generation website for realtors, and now offers not just the front end website, but a website and CRM combo with all my personal written follow-up drips and scripts. And some of these, you guys, go out 1,000+ days. We made it where it's 100% dummy proof. And this system, you guys, competes with $1,000+ month systems that exist in the industry, and it's only $199 per month. So make sure to check us out, www.perfectstormnow.com, where you can check out in-depth demos, client testimonials, more info, all that fun stuff. Our third sponsor is EMF. I'm really excited about this one. This is Optimized Life Nutrition's newest supplement, newest nootropic. It's by far the most powerful nootropic on the planet. EMF stands for Energy, Memory, Focus. If you're like me and you want to have insane energy, improved memory, extreme, intense focused, this is the best product, you guys, that money can buy. I take it every single day, and the results are insane. Improved energy, improved focus, improved mood, awareness, and we've even had many clients tell us improved sex, dude. So it's just this crazy, insane, overall life-enhancing product. So check that out at www.optimizedlifenutrition.com. Lastly, if you want to be like me and the crew here at GSD Studios, kicking ass every single day, highly recommend that you rock your GSD gear here on the website, www.gsdmode.com. Snag your shirts. We have women's shirts, men's shirts. I got some hats, and we got a lot more apparel on the way. So that's all I got for you guys. Hope you enjoy the show, and we will talk to you soon. What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode interview. Every single day we interview top entrepreneurs and just straight up top badasses out there dominating their spaces, or people choosing to not live a life of mediocrity, but instead to go out there and do amazing, epic things with this one brief life that we have, right? So today, you guys, we got a repeat guest on the show. You guys may have watched my original podcast with Paul Burgess. Paul Burgess is a health, fitness, nutrition. I mean, just an all-out expert when it comes to the human body, nutrition, how the body works. So one of the services that Paul does, he runs a very successful personal training company, and again, a health and fitness nutrition company. And one of the services that he provides is food intolerance testing. So after the last podcast, I decided to go through it. Something I've never done, something I've been curious about, and especially after talking with Paul, I got really, really curious about this. So I decided to work with Paul, go through his company, and get this test done. And we're going to actually go through, we just got the results back, and we're going to go through the results here live on the show. So what these results mean, how to structure your diet, all of this stuff. So I'm really stoked and excited. Hey, welcome to the show, Paul.
Mate, great to be back.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this, man. So before we get into the results, can you kind of give us, I know we talked about this in the first podcast, and you guys, just so you know, if you missed the first podcast, make sure you watch it. Paul dropped so many just amazing pieces of information. We'll have a link right below to that first podcast, because we went deep into workout, nutrition, supplements, hormones, and I mean just so many epic things, where today we're going to go really deep into this specific topic. But can you give us an idea of what we're going to talk about? Like what is this test? Why is it important? And kind of give us some general outlines of what this is all about, and then we'll get into the results.
Okay, so there's a lot of food intolerance tests available on the market, and they are generally pretty inaccurate and unreliable. So if I take, so generally they use saliva or hair as a sample, and then they analyze it and they feed back what they believe is the problem. The issue with that is, one, especially if it's hair, it can be months old. But if I send in 2 samples of my hair, if I had any, under 2 different names, I would get back 2 very different results in a lot of cases. Okay, so they're only really reproducible around 68 to 70% with accuracy, and that's not got any value, in my opinion. So what we do is we use what's called an IgG4 immune reaction test, which shows us exactly what is going on in the blood. So it's a blood test as opposed to hair or saliva. And it's reproducible about 97%. So that's pretty high in my mind, and it's about as high as it gets. But it takes an awful long time to do. It takes about 4 weeks to analyze it and get it back, and it's not a cheap exercise. It is very expensive. However, if you go to my website and go to the testimonial page, you'll see lots of videos of people there who have done the testing, used the knowledge, and changed how they feel almost overnight. And yours is going to be very similar. And there's one particular thing there that's going to make a massive difference to you, and we're going to come to that in a second. But before we go into it, Josh, tell me, what was it that motivated you to get the test done? Were there any symptoms causing problems, or was it just, I don't know, I just want to try it out?
No, I mean, for me, it was, I mean, food, which makes sense. It's how we gain our energy levels. And it was maybe something that for a lot of years I didn't pay attention to, but over the last few years, my number one objective over aesthetics and everything else with my health and fitness is energy management. As you know, when you're running companies and you've got kids at home, you got all this stuff going on, energy becomes a massive issue, and I'm always trying to maximize that energy. And since I got really cognizant about this, man, I've noticed if I have specific foods, or even to the point now where, like, if I take a cheat day, let's just say, I've got to the point where I can't even take a full cheat day. I can maybe have one cheat meal a week or so. But man, I feel like crap. I'll feel literally, especially if my cheat meal is later in the evening, when I wake up the next morning, I'll feel like I have a hangover almost. Yeah. And I just feel like instantaneously sometimes. I mean, if I go have a bad meal or certain foods, dude, I crash very quickly. I notice it at a high level. So,
do you ever notice the next day when you get up that you've got a bit more swelling in your fingers, or you feel a bit stiff?
Yeah, I don't notice. I mean, I haven't noticed the sweating in the fingers, but definitely tired, definitely more stiff, definitely. I'm not feeling optimal by any means, man.
All right, so energy is produced from the food that you eat. We know that. But if the food you're eating is causing an immune reaction in your system, it's going to make you tired. because it's not getting absorbed properly. It's causing your body to start fighting against something it sees as a foreign invader. That takes a lot of energy out of people. And if you take it to an extreme and someone's sick, they've got a virus or a bacterial infection, they've got very little energy. All they can do is lay in bed and wait for it to deal with itself and pass. So when you're looking at food intolerances, and especially with an IgG4 reaction, it's a very mild form of immune. And so what's happening is it's making you tired on a regular basis. And then when you overeat something that's really bad, it's going to make you feel really, really bad, because it's already kind of in a state of fighting an infection, if you like. So, and I'm not sure if your guys can see the screen that we've got up, because we're going to show your test, right? And we have Joshua's permission, so we wouldn't normally show people's tests. But if you can see it, then great. And if not, we're going to talk through it. So we've got a report here that tells us the foods that have been tested, and also whether it came into a low reactive range, which means it was fine, whether there was a moderate reaction or a high reaction. And anything that's moderate or high is to be avoided because it's causing a problem. And in your particular case, casein, basically dairy in general, casein, cottage cheese, cow's milk, goat's milk even, things like mozzarella and whey protein were all very highly reactive. Now, here's something that immediately is going to change how you feel. I happen to know that you take at least 2 or 3 whey shakes a day, whey, casein, a mixture of both, and so on, all of which are very reactive. So if you imagine taking 3 of those a day, which probably accounts for maybe half of your protein intake, if they're 30 grams each of protein, let's say, so it's like 90, 100 grams a day of protein just from shakes, that is going to cause you a lot of gut irritation and tiredness, for want of a better word, because you're constantly putting it in. So your body's never getting a chance to recover from it. Now, one of the biggest reactions we find is whey on so many people's reports. So whey protein and casein, both of which are very, very highly immune reactive. As soon as people cut them out, they feel so much better. Years and years and years ago, I used to recommend the same as most other people, where they go, you have a whey protein shake immediately after you train, and maybe some casein before bed. It's a slow releasing protein. It fuels your body overnight, all this sort of nonsense, right? When you look back at the research and where that kind of information comes from, it's basically from dairy manufacturers, from the manufacturers of the supplements that say, we need to create a reason for you to use these things. There's no more value and it's no more bioavailable eating a piece of chicken than it is drinking a shake. In actual fact, eating some chicken or eating some solid food is better for you when it comes to absorbing the protein, because there are different types of protein in different foods, and you should be getting a range of them, not just the dairy type. On top of that, if you're reacting to it, you're not going to absorb that protein properly anyway. It's just going to make you feel like rubbish. So that's the first thing. Cut those 3 shakes out a day, replace them with proper food, and almost overnight, you're going to feel a difference, right? Especially when it comes to energy. So I'm really interested to see what happens with that. Okay.
Can I just ask? Sorry to interrupt you, but with that, if it's one of these things where, let's just say time is an issue, and maybe you don't have a chance to, like, you still want to supplement with some type of a shake. Is there something, like in my case? Because you're right. I mean, I take. All my shakes have a combination of whey, casein, other than before I go to bed, it's all casein. But my shakes are typically 70% whey, 30% casein. I see a lot of these, vegan protein powders and things like that out there. Would that be recommended to supplement if I can't sneak in a quick chicken breast post-workout, if I'm, got a meeting right after and I'm just in a kind of a pinch where I just need something? What would you recommend that, or would you just say stay away from all types of powders?
Okay, so it all depends on how well you want to optimize your life. Okay, if there's going to be some compromises made, then by all means use a protein supplement, and I'll tell you which one in a minute. But realistically, if you're going to try and optimize your performance and your life in general, what it means is you need to reconfigure your time management and make the time so that you can have the food rather than go, look, I've got a meeting and I've got to shoot off. You know, that is the habit and behavior of someone running on adrenaline and really driving their cortisol levels up. And it's great for a short period of time, but after, you know, several years of that kind of work, you tend to get very sick very quickly. So I'm saying to you, from an optimization point of view, you may want to just take the foot off the pedal slightly and make it more important to have your food rather than the next meeting. Okay. That having been said, my particular preference when it comes to this kind of thing, from a supplement point of view, is hydrolyzed collagen protein, which you can get in a powder form. And the reason that is my preference is I'm yet to find anybody that reacts badly to collagen. It's a natural material that we have in our bodies, and that is the basis of things like bone broth, connective tissue, ligaments, that kind of thing. So it has a couple of double whammies. One, it's a protein source, so you're going to get protein if you're looking at building muscle mass, but it also helps with your connective tissue, like I say, your tendons, helps with skin, that kind of thing, because it's the building blocks of it. That's that collagen that people want to fill their face with and make it look younger again. It's that in a raw form. So if you are going to have a shake, I'll say look into that, because that's a good alternative that I don't find anybody reacting badly to. So the next one for you, meat and animal protein in general was fine, other than egg white. Egg yolk is okay, but egg whites cause a problem. Again, this is really, really common, especially in people who are in the fitness industry, because they eat so many of them. Eggs are touted as this amazing food that has all the amino acids in it, and it's a complete source of protein. It's got good fats, and it's convenient, and it's easy, and all the rest of it. And honestly, the two biggest issues that we have from a reactive point of view is whey protein and eggs. The two things that people think are the most amazing things in the world, and realistically, they're not. So egg whites out. You don't eat that many eggs, so that's not a problem for you. Then as we go further down the report, we can see there's one other thing, barley, which is causing a moderate reaction in you. I'm not sure how much of it you would probably eat, but I don't think there's much of that in your life, because you tend to eat quite a low carbohydrate diet. Other carbs in your particular case, from a reactivity point of view, right? This is not the same as insulin sensitivity or blood sugar management, right? This is about an immune reaction point of view. Wheat, gluten, corn, hemp, oats, quinoa, rice, they're all fine for you should you choose to use them. Fish, all absolutely fine. Cod, halibut, salmon, sardines, sole, trout, tuna, etc., all good. Shellfish as well, all very nice, no problems with those. Nuts, almonds, peanuts, pecans, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, sunflower seed, walnuts, all perfectly okay for you. The next immune reaction we get from your report is in the fruits section, and that's bananas. And it's also pineapples. And then again, two quite common ones that we tend to find people react to, and they tend to be included in a daily diet. So it's not uncommon when people think about it, when they're following what they say is a clean diet or something that they think can't be bad for them, you know, they'll get up in the morning and they'll have their shake, which they'll make themselves. So it'll be like a couple of scoops of protein and some berries and maybe banana in there and some peanut butter, and they'll have that for breakfast because it's good and it gets me on the go and all this kind of stuff. Then they'll get to lunchtime and they'll have their, I don't know, eggs and salad and chicken or whatever else it is. They'll have a banana because that's lots of energy, and I'll have that before I work out. And a lot of people will add pineapple in around a meal, and generally post-workout, one, because of the carbohydrate, but two, because it has some good digestive enzymes in it. And they believe that eating pineapple will help them digest the rest of their foods. In principle, that's correct. In reality, there's not enough of the enzymes in pineapple to make a difference. But if you were to do that, which you are, right? You've got whey protein causing you a problem. You'd have bananas that would cause you a problem if you were to eat them, pineapple, eggs. So all the stuff that you'd think is a clean diet actually are going to cause you problems. And this kind of thing highlights that. The next thing we've got is garlic. And that is a highly reactive thing for you. And that tends to be often lumped in with things like FODMAPs, which are fructooligosaccharides sugars that you find in certain foods. Some of the other ones that are also FODMAP foods are not reacting in you. So in this particular case, it's probably a good thing to stay away from garlic. And I know that you don't like garlic, so that's a good thing. It's easy for you to stay away from it. But you will find it in some foods if you're eating out.
Yeah, like things that maybe, I don't like. Like my wife loves garlic, right? Which I know her tests came back too, so she's not going to be too happy about that. But like I love chips and salsa, and I'm sure in the salsa there's a lot that I'm unaware of, and it's just nice having that awareness, because I'm sure it's sneaking in there in ways that I don't even pay attention to or know.
Absolutely, and because that's quite highly reactive to you, if you cut that salsa out and have your own one, you make your own one at home, there's no garlic in it, you may well find that a lot of the symptoms that you're facing just disappear, because, like you say, it sneaks in here, sneaks in there. And if you think of a day for this particular client, he gets up, he has a couple of whey protein shakes over the day. Some of it is casein, which is very slow releasing, so it keeps the immune reaction going a lot longer because it's very slow in its breakdown into the gut. And then they have some garlic in a dip at some point during the day. They have a banana later on just before they train, whatever it is. There's never a chance for the body to stop reacting. So it's permanently in that kind of immune response state. Now, when you get, I know we spoke off air, when you eat too much protein, or what you feel is too much protein, you feel like you get some gastrointestinal issues, and that you feel it on one side, and then you feel it moving through your colon to the other side, and where it's reacting and where it's causing an issue. And that's particularly on high protein days. And you'll find that those are the days where you're eating more of or drinking more of the shakes. It's causing a higher immune reaction. If you imagine you've been doing it day upon day, and your body's never really recovered from the last 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, there are times where it's just going to flare up more than it should do. So, as I keep coming back to, once we cut all of this out for a while, I think you'll feel significantly better quite quickly. There are some other challenges going on, because if you're saying that you eat carbohydrate, you put on weight easily, then yes, there could certainly be an issue with insulin sensitivity. I can't remember from last time. Do you take metformin?
I do. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So,
but that's recent. Right? That's been in the recent year, last year.
So that's obviously an insulin sensitizer, which helps get glucose into the cells. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that it's a free-for-all to say eat as much carbs as you like. It's still going to be an underlying problem going on there, which is something else we deal with separately. So finally, Candida. Candida is a yeast infection which sits in the gut. It's a bacterial overgrowth, which isn't terrible. It's not a life-threatening issue, but it can make people very uncomfortable. And it also tends to cause bloating. But moreover, it causes a lot of sugar cravings, and it feeds really well off of sugars. So if you take in some simple carbohydrates, you go and have your cheat meal and it's a tub of ice cream, you may well find that later on you feel really tired, and you, like you said, you feel bloated and just like a hangover. This will be one of the reasons for it. The more you eat of that kind of stuff, the more you're feeding that Candida. Now, the good news is that can be wiped out by using some nutraceuticals, things like oregano oil. There are some digestive enzymes that you can take, which will help break down the cell wall of the yeast, and then the oregano oil, or oregano oil, you call it over there, right? That will take it, get it out of the body and disperse of it. And when we finish, I'll send you some links to some stuff that you can get that will help with that.
So with Candida, because this is the first time I've heard of that, so this sounds like it's something that's kind of already naturally occurring. It's just certain nutrients just kind of flame it up more. Is that correct? Or is this, I mean, can you go a little bit deeper into exactly what it is? Because that's something totally new to me.
It's exactly what you said. It's basically a yeast, and it's not great to have yeast in your body because it causes a lot of issues, and it will proliferate. It will grow very quickly and tend to take up a lot of space in your gut. And also your gut tells your brain what to do more than your brain tells your gut what to do. So when you've got a lot of overgrowth of things like Candida, it will create cravings in your brain that you have no control over. And in this particular case, it's normally sugars, carbohydrates, bread, the pasta stuff, all that kind of thing. The thing that makes you feel, and people know they're going to feel like crap before they eat it, but it's something that they have a compulsion to eat. And that's where Candida can cause a lot of problems. So getting rid of it is not a bad thing. And it will certainly make your digestion better. It also allow you to absorb more of the nutrients. So yours isn't terrible high, but it's enough for it to be dealt with and got rid of.
So with the oils that you mentioned and the digestive enzymes, I mean, is there, like in my case here, I mean, are there specific digestive enzymes and a specific amount of the oils that you should be taking on a daily basis to help wipe that out? And then is that kind of an ongoing thing to prevent? Do you continue with the digestive enzymes, or is that just once it's wiped out, as long as you manage everything else, it just stays away?
Yeah, normally you'll get a treatment for it, which comes in, like I say, you get a digestive blend of enzymes in the right proportions that you take on an empty stomach a couple of times a day, and then you'll take some oregano oil a couple of times a day as well. And the tubs that they come in will have the dosages on them, and they'll be formulated specifically for that. Once that's done, you might want to repeat it depending on how much and how bad it is. But once it's done, you're generally okay for quite a while. And especially if you've cleaned up your diet and things are pretty much okay and you're not experiencing any symptoms, then generally it doesn't come back. But if it does, again, it's not a problem. You can just treat it again. I've got a client recently who's had it going on 15 years probably since he's had these symptoms. And he came to us and he was literally off the chart. And as soon as we started giving him treatment for it, it really flared up. It fought back like a bugger because there was so much of it there that as soon as it started getting things that were starting to break it down and starting to eliminate it, it got really agitated. And it took about a week for him to feel really unpleasant before he started coming out the other side of it and feeling better. And once he started feeling better, he said it was just life-changing because he was so compelled to eat sugars and carbohydrate, and also in his case, a lot of caffeine to try and give him energy because he was getting no energy from his food, even though he was eating lots of sugar, putting on weight every year, like hugely. And it was a complete turnaround for him. So it was it can be a little bit upsetting when people start getting rid of it first of all. But I think in your case, it's not going to be quite as bad because it's not quite as high.
Yeah, this all makes so much sense, and I couldn't agree with you more as far as, with the gut. I mean, everything the research that I've done is there's almost as many neurons in the gut as there is the brain, and you're hearing so many just very intelligent progressive physicians now say that the gut and the gut biome is the future of healthcare. And like I look at my diet now, every morning when I wake up, dude, it doesn't matter if I get
10 hours of sleep or 6 hours, whatever, I feel like crap. Like I feel I'm not like that guy that bounced out of bed ever feeling rested, ever feeling good until I have my 2 cups of coffee, and it takes about 30 minutes for me to feel human. But dude, I take a casein shake every single night. Then I'm doing those whey protein shakes. And then as we're having these conversations, I say that I don't like garlic. But I know that we do little things like, hey, when I'm cooking up my steaks, or whatever, dude, we're always adding garlic salt and little things to them that I just never really had awareness to till now, and it just totally makes sense.
So I want to see, 4 weeks time how you're feeling, but I'd also really be interested in you messaging me over the next few days and telling me how you're feeling once you've cut all these irritants out. And seriously, the first thing, whey shakes, just get rid of them. Don't even think about going back and trying them again for at least another 3 months. Give your body that chance to recover from it and bring down that immune response. Because if you imagine all night your body's fighting this immune reaction, you're going to wake up tired. Of course you are. You're not rested. And that's what's going on. And it's constant day after day, after months and years of doing the same thing. So anyway, as we move on down the report, it tells us the foods to avoid, which are pretty simple. And then it gives you the method of removing the foods that are problematic. It advises it for 60 days. I always tell clients do it for 90 days because I prefer that. And I want it to be a long-term change that people make. And then we talk about this rotation diet that is advised within those 90 days. And very simply, it's just a table that's laid out that says on day 1, you can choose any of these foods because we know none of them react badly to you. In day 2, here's a different set of foods that we know don't react and you can choose from. The same for day 3, the same for day 4, and then you would go back to day 1. The reason for it is so that you get a very wide variety of foods that you can choose from and you're never stuck with the same food every day. However, a lot of people quite like eating a narrow variety of foods. So if, for example, there's a dozen different foods on there across 4 days that you quite like the look of, you can have all that on the same day, every day, if that's what you want. The purpose of this is just to give you variety and show you that there's so much to eat, the choice is almost endless. Don't feel as though you're restricted just because you've got to cut out whey protein and garlic and bananas, right? There's a lot of other foods out there.
Time out. Joshua Smith here at GSD Studios. I need to take a quick pause to give our sponsors a quick shout out that make all this possible. Our first sponsor is my personal 90-day mastery bootcamp. This is my personal mentorship training program where I give you everything I do inside my business. You get my entire playbook. We have 12 live 3+ hour long sessions. In addition to a ton of different bonus content, you get daily access to me. There's nothing I withhold from you guys inside this program. You get my entire playbook that's helped me sell thousands and thousands and thousands of homes. You get all my tracking forms, presentations, scripts, checklists, team contracts. There's nothing you don't get access to. This is hands down the most effective and affordable real estate training program on the planet. So make sure you check us out at www.90daymastery.com. You can check out boot camp dates. You can check out testimonials, more in-depth information. If you decide to register, make sure to enter live mastery, all caps, all one word, all together. That'll save you 500 bones. So you can get the whole entire program for only $997 or 3 payments of $333. Our next sponsor is PerfectStormNow.com. PerfectStormNow.com is an insanely effective lead generation website for realtors and now offers a website and CRM combo with all my custom personal follow-up drips inside there, some of which go out 1,000 plus days. We've made it where this is dummy proof, you guys. Any type of a lead generation tactic you can think of, from expireds, FSBOs, sign calls, open houses, past clients, everything is in there. It's a plug and play system. And this system really is as powerful, if not more powerful in my opinion. I'm a little biased, but as powerful as the $1,000 a month programs out there, and it's only $199 per month. So again, check us out, www.perfectstormnow.com. Our third sponsor is EMF. Optimized Life Nutrition has created the most powerful nootropic on the planet called EMF. EMF stands for Energy, Memory, Focus. So if you're like me and you want to have insane energy, improved memory, and extreme intense focus, this is the best product money can buy. I take it every single day and the results are insane. I've massively improved energy, memory, focus, mood, awareness, and like you've heard me say in the past, we've had clients that even say it enhances sex. We've had talked to people that have reduced anxiety. The supplement is insane. Check us out, learn more at www.optimizedlifenutrition.com. Lastly, if you're like myself and our whole entire crew here at GSD Studios and my real estate team, make sure you check out our apparel line, right? We got t-shirts, men's t-shirts, women's t-shirts. We got our hat line that if you're watching this might be available at this point. The hats are in production right now. We're going to be adding a lot of different apparel. So make sure to check that out. And then also, if you're not already, make sure to jump into the GSD Mode Facebook private group. For example, inside there, you guys, we post all of our interviews to make sure that you're not missing out on any interviews. We're going to be doing some votes for future apparel, some Facebook Live stuff. So it's a free private mastermind that you can jump in to go out there, learn, grow, and continue kicking ass and succeeding. All right, that's enough of the interruptions. Let's get back to the show.
What's the asterisk? I see like by cabbage and broccoli and apricots, there's an asterisk. Is that like more highly recommended based on mine or?
On those, even though they're not reacting in you, they may cause minor bloating symptoms. And if they do, take them out. But they're for different reasons. So cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cabbage, and also with apricots, sometimes they'll ferment in a certain way in the gut, which is not an immune reaction. It's more of a gut biome issue. And if they do, then it's just leave them be. But in your particular case, they should be okay. If you say you cook cabbage for a long period of time, it tends to ferment. And once it does, that can cause gas and bloating. Whereas if you fry cabbage very quickly in coconut oil, say, and add some chili and salt and pepper to it, you tend not to have the same reaction because the fibers in the cabbage haven't had a chance to sit in water and boil and then ferment and produce that gas. So it's worth trying them. If you like them, great. If you don't, you know what, stop them. Do that for 90 days, like I say. Choose the foods that you like, eat them without limitation. So for me, I try and get as many clients as possible not to count calories, especially if they've got gut issues, because what we want to do is heal the gut so that they're absorbing food properly. Once that happens, people tend to self-limit their calorie intake because they're full and also their body's not craving nutrients because they're absorbing them properly. So you imagine you're eating the greatest diet in the world, but you're not absorbing the food, your body is still going to be craving some sort of energy. So it will point you towards the donuts and the sugar and the ice cream because it wants fast energy now because it's tired and needs something. If you're absorbing all your nutrients and your body is nourished to a point it doesn't need anything else, the cravings go because there's no reason for you to eat more. And therefore you limit your calorie intake naturally. And it'll keep you on a maintenance style diet, if you like. If you're looking for very low fat loss, so you're trying to get sub 8%, say, in a guy, or sub 15% in a woman, then yes, you're going to have to manage your calorie intake, manage your macros, and get very, very, anal about what you eat. But it's because you're trying to put your body in a position it doesn't want to be in, and you're forcing it to do something. So eat as much as you want, enjoy it, eat foods that you know are going to be good for you. Once we've done those 90 days, we would then start reintroducing some of the foods that were problematic. And you get another little table that gives you the idea as to what to bring in on what days. And the reason is, when it's an immune reaction, it tends to take 60 days for your body's immune to reset itself and no longer see that food as a threat. So because it's been having something over a long period of time, it knows it's causing a problem in the gut and therefore it sends out an immediate immune response. After eliminating it for a long period of time, that immune response is cancelled out in a lot of cases and you can find that you can start eating or drinking some of those foods again without having the problems that you had in the first place. That does not mean that you can go straight back to drink 5 whey shakes a day and 10 bags of casein for your evening meal. It means that very slowly you should bring in one item at a time and see how your body reacts. So if whey is really important to you, you go, right, I'm going to have one and see how I feel. And if you have one and you feel okay, then you go, okay, fine, that was good today. Let's try it again tomorrow. Try it again the next day. And if by the end of the week you're feeling a bit more watery around your middle, more bloated, loose stool, more gas, whatever it is, you might go, okay, whey's not for me. Let's go and stick with either solid foods or maybe some hydrolyzed collagen or something like that. At the end of that period, which is another 28 days, you will know pretty much everything that works for you, everything that doesn't work for you, what makes you feel good and energized and what makes you feel tired. And you simply stay away from the stuff that's bad and feast on everything that's good and gives you energy. The other good thing is you will know when you go out, if you make a decision and say, I'm going to have this food tonight, and I know it's going to make me not feel very good, you'll also know that limiting it will limit the damage and therefore you might not eat as much of it. There are going to be other days where you're going to stick your head in a bucket of ice cream and eat the whole lot. But that's just the way life is. But at least you know why it's happening. You're not sitting there going, I just don't know what the problem is. You're sitting there going, I know exactly what the problem is. That Ben & Jerry's was just too good to miss and I'm paying the price for it, and that's fine because tomorrow I'm going to get back on the program that I know eliminates all the foods that are bad for me, instead of going, I had a big tub of Ben & Jerry's last night and now tomorrow morning I'm going to be healthy and have a whey shake, which persists the problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and one thing that, so I started intermittent fasting. I started introducing that into my diet about a year ago. And I'd love to get your take on this, because the days that I intermittent fast, because I don't take in shakes, I'll only have like 2 solid meals in the afternoon, and I'll go for like a solid 19 to 20 hour fast beforehand. But holy crap, that's when I feel on fire, man. I feel so amazing. I'm so focused. My energy's insane. And I just always thought it was from the fasting. But those days, if I look at this, I'm cutting out all those things that I have an intolerance to here on my diet those days. So would that, is there something to the actual fast that creates those feelings, or is that because I'm not taking in those things that I'm intolerant to that make that difference in my energy levels and focus?
The reason you're feeling better is because you're not eating the foods. However, the fasting is causing the environment for you not to eat them. So in other words, because you're fasting, you're not eating those foods, and because those foods cause a problem, you're feeling better. Fasting itself has got its benefits. And those benefits are things like autophagy, where your body will clear out all the old debris, make sure that the DNA that's not working is removed and create new DNA, and cellular regeneration. It's very anti-aging. It deals with a lot of underlying problems that haven't got time to be dealt with when you've got food in your system all the time. Fasting is fantastic. And if you're doing an 18, 20-hour fast, it's going to, from a health perspective, it's going to be hugely beneficial for you. However, the reason you're feeling better is because you're taking out those irritant foods. And as soon as you put them back in again, guess what? You feel like crap again. So you can see, you've done the elimination diet to an extreme by eliminating everything on the fast, proved it worked because I feel amazing, I've got all this energy, and then brought in the foods that you weren't aware caused the problem, that you are now aware, that have shown to cause you the sleepiness and the gut issues and so on. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what your results are, but it sounds like this is basically telling you exactly what you knew, but it's giving you the information you needed to be able to take out the foods that you weren't aware of.
Yep. Yeah, I love it. And those, I know Paul said that, this test is extremely expensive. But just to give you guys an idea, my wife and I both did it, and it was around, I don't remember the exact amount because it was a little while ago, but I think it was like $700 for both of us. That's like $350 a person. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's not that big of an investment to go out there and have this awareness to take care of your health. And then when you get the test, it came with a little kit, just so you guys kind of aware with the blood test. And I mean, I didn't have to go in and give a bunch of vials of blood. It literally was just a finger prick pin that pricked the finger. You just put like 5 blood dots, right? You just kind of milk the blood out of the finger, put them on there. So I mean, it was pretty painless, pretty quick, pretty easy, and then you just ship them back. So don't be afraid to get the test, because the monetary investment it isn't that much when you look at the scope of things for your overall health, energy, and wellness. And the test itself is pretty damn easy.
Yeah, I mean, we've got it down so that we can do it all in the mail. We can send it out to you, literally do it at home. It takes 2 minutes, pop it back in the post to us, and then we'll get it analysed and produce a report and send it out to you. Did you want to go through your wife's?
Yeah. She gave us her permission.
Right. So just so we know, she's given us her permission as well.
I got a sneak peek at it. I don't know if she'll be happy when she sees this, but
she'll be all right, because she'll feel way better if she's experiencing any symptoms. So this is your wife. Now you can see there's a lot more red foods reacting on here. All dairy, really bad. Get rid of it. To the point where whey protein, which she said, same as you, the upper limit is 250. So the reading is 250 on the upper limit, and hers is 2,509. So that's 10 times what it should be. Massively reactive. That is not going to go overnight. And if you're having one of those in the morning and one in the evening, you're just persisting that problem. It's a big challenge for her. In her particular case, she's also a little bit reactive to beef. Eggs, both egg white and egg yolk, are highly reactive. And lamb. So for her, the animal protein would be based around things like chicken, pork, and turkey, and a bit of buffalo it's got there as well, which is not a problem for her. But it's interesting that she doesn't react to the white meats, pork, turkey, chicken. That could tell us that there's something else going on, like she's got a purine issue when it comes to red meat and things like that. And that's something else that, if it was a problem long term, we might dig a little bit deeper into that and see what's going on. But initially, we just do an elimination diet and make sure that she's taken out all the irritants and see if things settle down a bit. When we get into carbohydrates, she's got a big reaction on wheat, gluten, and gliadin, all of which come from wheat. Wheat is obviously wheat, gluten's in wheat, gliadin is another protein that's in wheat. And as you mentioned, she does have a pasta and bread on a relatively regular basis. So it may not be causing her to put weight on, because similar to yourself, say, with slight insulin resistance issues and stuff like that. But she may well find that she never really gets that lean look that she's after. She's a little bit watery around her middle. Tends to feel a bit tired, maybe gets a little bit stiff in the fingers and things, or just feels sometimes that she just doesn't have the energy to train, so the pre-workout comes out, or the big coffee, or whatever else it is. And that could well be based around the fact that there's some reaction going on there. She's good with fish, so that's all good for her. Shellfish are okay, except for oysters. Clearly, she leads an opulent lifestyle and likes her oysters at the weekend, but even if she doesn't matter to stay away from those. Almonds and peanuts, from her perspective, just give them a rest for a little while. The underlying issue is it's causing a problem, and if we can stay away from them, it will reset itself pretty much okay. Personally, years ago, I had peanuts come up, and I stayed off them for a long time, good couple of years, but I don't have a problem with them anymore. So it's worth cutting them out for a bit. Hers are much more reactive than yours. You can see it just visually. There's a lot more going on that chart. And then she's got the same banana and pineapple challenge as you had, but she's also got avocado and raspberries causing her some challenges. Garlic as well, and green peppers. So again, take them out, just see how you feel. I think that because there's a lot of different things showing reactivity in her, if she can wipe them all out and just stick with things that are good for her, I think she'll find a real quick turnaround in how she's feeling. If she's symptomatic to anything at the moment, in other words, if she's got a problem or she's feeling some digestive issues, this will make it change. Where it's very interesting is people say, well, I don't feel any problems. Then they change their diet according to their sensitivities, and all of a sudden they feel that they're sleeping better, their mood is better, better energy, cognitive function is better, they start losing a little bit of weight. And previous to it, they're saying, well, I've got no problem. But the reason they think they've got no problem is they've had it for so long that they think that's normal. It's normal to be tired. It's normal to not sleep very well at night. It's normal to be tired in the afternoon, or to forget things, or be a bit grumpy, or scream at the kids a bit. Oh, if I've got 2 kids, I'm always tired. Of course I am. But underlying, there's actually something else going on that's causing the problem. So again, it'd be really interesting to get some feedback from you and Amanda and see how she feels. And she's got Candida as well, slightly more than you. Again, it's not huge amounts, but she would do well to get rid of that. Do you know if she has any symptoms of any kind or any cravings that she finds problematic?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, of course she gets her sweets cravings way more frequent than I do, but she definitely has those. And then, yeah, I mean, but like you said, you blame it on lifestyle. Oh, I've got 3 kids and it's go, and I'm feeling irritable and all this stuff. And you just assume that it's the lifestyle, not going deeper in this stuff. And I love that you brought the point of, hey, I don't feel any issues, but especially here in the US, that people's diets are so poor. When we're growing up, like a lot of our parents weren't educated well on this stuff. Like I look at my diet growing up, it was all hamburger helper and shake and bake chicken and, all processed foods. And, we spent our whole lives of having a poor diet, if you will, not the right diet. And we never really know what it feels like to be optimal, to be at our best self. And
absolutely. What is hamburger helper? I have heard of it.
Oh, it's just like out of the box, man, processed, pasta and stuff that you sprinkle on your hamburger meat, and it's just a quick 10-minute meal.
Here's something for you. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on our last show. I was in Phoenix last year, and I went to a Whole Food shop, and I was with somebody, and as we walked out, I said to him, and he lives there, I said to him, look at the cashiers, the people taking the money on the tills, and every single one of them, I kid you not, was over £300, and not in a good way, right? And this is a health food shop where people are morbidly obese that work there. And the reason was a lot of the food that was in there was not health food. A lot of it was, types of pasta or types of waffle mix or pancake mix or whatever else it is, that because it's in the Whole Foods, people think it's okay to eat. And I've not been to the States. I lived in Vancouver for a while when I was younger. Absolutely loved it. This is like 20 odd years ago, more, 30 years maybe. And I went to New York about 10 years ago for 3 or 4 days at Christmas. And I remember thinking then, in those 4 days, I don't think I saw a vegetable. Right? And I was doing the whole Christmas shopping thing, the plays and all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't really trying to eat particularly well. But when I went back this time, it really struck me how poor the diet is in the States, and they do not see it like that. So it doesn't surprise me when they come over to Europe and they go, my God, you guys eat so well and this, that, and the other. We eat just as badly, trust me, right? There's a lot of people that eat really bad over here and in mainland Europe and everything else. But it just seems that there's so many more pretend foods in the States that have been created as a substitute that you can eat quickly. Apparently you get cheese in a tube, something, right? Is that right? Yeah, so whatever that is. And just this kind of stuff, which is convenient and has been okayed by some government that it is a food, that people eat it because it's sold as a food. And they go, I quite like the taste of it. which, by the way, millions has been spent to make sure you like the taste and the texture and everything else. And that's what they grow up on, like you said. So they're going to feel like crap forever, and that's why they think they haven't got a problem. There's a lot of foods in America, and especially the food additives, that are actually banned in Europe. It is illegal to sell it over here. And yet you can buy it in a shop on any street corner in the States. And there's a lot of them. There's like 200 different things. And for some reason, you guys are allowed to eat it and no one bats an eyelid. So I can see why people have the problems. Anyway, I'm jabbering on. Again,
well, no, I mean it's like I heard it, and I don't know if this is true or not. It's something I heard at one point, but like in a McDonald's French fry here in the States, there's 19 ingredients, of which like 14 are banned in every other country other than the U.S. So it's like, what are those other things? And I think why this stuff is so critical, like I've worked with so many, doctors and personal trainers and quote unquote experts. And I'll tell you, every single one of them, especially, in the health club industry with a lot of personal trainers, is like, get on the whey shakes. That's just the standard, right? Like nobody's really educated on this stuff. And with Dr. Grossman, who we're a partner with at affiliate partner with at Checked, he's just like, dude, in med school, you got to understand these doctors, there is absolutely roughly zero nutritional training, right? That's not what it's about. And, that's what's brilliant about guys like you in these tests, because it's just bringing this awareness that doesn't exist elsewhere.
Okay, you get 4 hours nutritional education in a 5-year pre-med to be a doctor. 4 hours. And I know a few student doctors who are actually into their nutrition, and even they are looking at it and going, it's crazy how little they are taught when it comes to the wellness and the health of people, because it's all medicated now, right? It's all meds, and give them this pill, give them this antidote, give them whatever else it is. But sadly, that's driven by the patient. I don't want to change my lifestyle. I don't want to eat more greens. I want you to give me a pill that's going to stop this problem. And the doctors go, oh, fine, okay, there you go. But now you need to take 3 other pills for the side effects from the pills that you're just taking. And all you've got to really do is stop eating that stuff, get to sleep a bit earlier, and stop drinking your weight in alcohol every night. And you know what? You're going to feel a hell of a lot better. And yet they don't want that. They want a quick fix. But, that's the culture we've come to grow and love by the looks of it. So going back with Amanda's report, we can see what's there. We just need to take it out. She's got a similar diet plan, but obviously with her own foods in it, which is a lot less than yours, you'll see. And then she'll try that for 90 days, do the reintroduction, see where she comes to, and then we'll reassess everything at the end. And if there are still some ongoing problems, we know that there's something more underlying going on, which is when we'd probably look at doing some blood testing or changing a few bits and pieces along the way.
So with the reintroduction, and I know that you mentioned that you cut out peanuts for a few years and then reintroduced them. And I mean, does your body adapt and change over time, or can you develop new intolerances or an intolerance become tolerant over time? I mean, does this change? And then if so, how frequent should you get a test like this done?
So again, we'll go back and say it's an immune reaction. Okay, so something's coming into the body, it's irritated it in a way, and initially it's probably been ignored or not been found to be significant enough for the immune response to react. But over time, especially over a consistent period of time, taking my whey shakes every day, 3 times a day, every day for weeks and months and years on end, that reaction becomes enough of an irritant for the body to launch an immune reaction to it. So attack it, get rid of it, heal the body. Trouble is, it comes in again tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And once we cut it out, the immune reaction then obviously stops. Once it has stopped for a period of time, you don't have that same response to that food again, because it's not been there to constantly irritate and set off that immune reaction. This is very different to an allergy, right? If you have an allergy, that's an acute reaction to something that you're going to feel straight away. If you've got a nut allergy and you eat peanuts, you know it's a trip to hospital or an EpiPen to try and bring down that anaphylactic shock. Otherwise, you can be in some very, very serious life-threatening danger. But this is the irritating stuff that goes on that just keeps you bloated, keeps you feeling like rubbish, tired, lethargic, all that kind of thing. Once that's taken out, your body will reset itself, and you can eat those tomatoes again or that, piece of whatever, and not have the same reaction because it hadn't been there all that time. Does it mean that you won't get the reaction again? No, but you can certainly be more aware of it. And if you then start feeling, actually, you know what, I had some whey protein last night, and it's the first time I felt a bit bloated since I had it a while back, I'm going to stop taking it again for a few weeks and maybe not even bother taking it again because I know what happens. So the answer is yes, you can improve your intolerances and not have the reactions, but they can still come back. Can you create new ones? Potentially, but generally you'll find that when you get a test like this done, it tends to highlight the real bad ones, the ones that are consistent in you. So you know that taking them out, by now in your life, you've probably created the majority of them anyway. And by taking them out, you can start re-feeding them back in again later on. But you'd always want to relatively, be careful of what you eat that's on the list, and always be aware of how you feel.
And that's the importance of the reintroduction one at a time, right? Because I know I'm guilty of this. Like, let's say I start working out hard again, or if I take a break and then I start adding, or I hear of new supplements, and I've been guilty of not adding one at a time. So now I'm taking, 3 new things or 4 new things, and I'm getting great results, but I really don't know which one's getting the results, right? So you don't want to reintroduce it all. That's why it's just one at a time, right? So then you can really get laser focused and identify what is truly creating those.
That's it. So you bring in, mozzarella cheese and you feel okay. That's great. A lot of people say you should leave it 3 days to assess the reaction because it can take that long to go through your system. But it all depends on how you feel and how motivated you are at the end of the day. If you want to leave it, then great. I've had clients that have felt so good on what they were doing, they didn't even bother doing the reintroduction because they saw no value to it. They said, well, I'm not really bothered. I don't miss that food. I feel amazing as I am. I've lost all this weight. I've got all this energy. Why would I want to change it? And so they don't even bother doing it. They just stick to what they're doing.
So the reintroduction isn't a must. It's just more of a, if these are foods that you really like, you can try to reintroduce them. But there's really, if you're feeling amazing, like you said, you can just skip the whole reintroduction.
Yeah, if you don't want to, why bother?
Yeah.
And then, on the odd occasion where you feel as though you want to have some poached eggs because you're having brunch or whatever else it is and you haven't had them for ages, have them, see how you feel. If you feel that it doesn't cause you an issue, then slowly start bringing them into your diet if that is what you want. But if you feel as though you're feeling some adverse reactions anyway, then you can cut them back out of it.
Yeah, love it.
And that's you, mate. It's all sorted, it's all written down for you. All you got to do is follow it and feedback how you feel.
Yeah, no, I love it. And those that are watching and listening, I'm going to keep you guys updated on my progress with this, how I'm feeling. Now this morning, actually, while we're recording this live right now, is the first time that I've went through these reports. Paul and I went through them briefly before we jumped on here, but this is the first time, so I'm going to start this diet now. And same with Amanda, and we'll definitely keep you guys updated on how we're feeling and what's going on. Paul, real quick though, somebody wants to, which I highly recommend. I mean, if your health, fitness, optimal life, I mean, if your health is important to you, which I hope to God it is to all of you, and that's probably why you're watching the show, to go out there, I highly urge you guys to go out there, reach out to Paul and get this done. What's the best place, Paul, to go get in touch with you if somebody wants to go through the same test with you? What is the best place to get in touch with you to do that?
Just go to the website, which is athleticnutrition.tv, as in television, and you can email me from there, and we can do it all online, and we'll get the kits out to you. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Obviously, you guys are in the States, we're in the UK, but we still have got a good system in place now that we can get stuff out there. We'll just process it from there.
Yep, and then like Paul said, I mean it does take a while to get the test back. It's 4 weeks processing time. I think when we sent ours back, just because mail, I wasn't gonna pay the $100 and some bucks to overnight it. So I think it took a week or two to reach you. So when you're the whole process, I mean, what do you say? What about 6 weeks on average for people to kind of be prepped for?
Yeah, it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks. The post isn't too bad now. We can normally get it in a few days just by you sending it normal post. You don't need to special it or anything like that. It's not like it is a serum test or anything that's going to degrade in the post, so it can take a little bit longer. It doesn't need to be frozen, doesn't need to be chilled or anything like that. And we'd have got yours done sooner had we managed to both be on a call at the same time a few weeks ago that one of us forgot about. And
that's my bad.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's 4 to 6 weeks. But you know what? If you've been feeling a bit rubbish for the last 5 years, or you can't seem to lose that last bit of weight, or you feel as though every diet you've tried has never worked, or you feel bloated, or you feel that you haven't got the cognitive function or the energy, or like you say, you're not sleeping, or you say you're not getting up and feeling like you've had a sleep. It might not just be because you've had a baby recently. There can be other things that are causing these issues, and it's really worth getting the test done and implementing some of the changes, because you'll certainly improve on it. But it can also highlight some other things that are going on, and if we find out what they are, we can work with those as well and try and improve that. Because remember, we don't just do food intolerance tests. We do some very in-depth blood testing, and we look at a lot of health from people's perspective of hormonal function, which is how we actually got in contact initially. But basically anything that's done in the blood test. So we want to make sure that everything's working properly, make sure your immune function isn't overly stressed, make sure that your acidity in your blood and also in your digestion is right, make sure that you've got your right liver function, kidney, everything's optimized, and that there's no dangers lurking that we want to try and get rid of. So by all means, give us a shout and we'll do what we can to help.
Yeah, love it, you guys. And make sure that you're taking action on this stuff. So many people think that like your car is the vehicle you drive. No, this is the vehicle, this one vessel that we have to operate life through. You owe it to yourself and to your loved ones to take care of yourself and be at the best version of yourself. So make sure you take action. We'll have a link right below, so it's going to be really easy on you. Just go, whether you're listening on iTunes, Stitcher, you're on YouTube, you're on our website, there's going to be a link right below where you can go to Paul's website, check it out, connect with Paul. He's got a ton of just amazing, free, great information on there as well that will help you take your health and fitness to the next level. Also below is going to be a link to the first podcast that Paul and I did, where again, we talked about, we went deep into training. We went deep into, like I said, how to go out there and balance your hormones. We went deep into ketogenic diets. We covered so much ground in that interview, so make sure to check that out. And Paul, man, I truly appreciate you being here, my friend. It really means a lot, and this has been awesome.
Good, mate. My pleasure, and I can't wait to hear back from you as to how you're feeling in a week's time.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated, my friend. All right, you guys, well, thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time.
All right, peeps, that wraps up today's show. Again, thank you so much for watching the show. I truly appreciate it. Just a few quick reminders and favors that I need from you. Number one, please share the show. Anyone you feel can benefit from this show. This truly helps us grow the show, continue going out there and having impacts on many, many lives. So it'd mean the world to me if you went out there and shared the show. Number two, if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, please go out there on iTunes, Stitcher, leave us a 5-star positive review. All that stuff helps for awareness of the show. Also, make sure to join the GSD Mode private Facebook mastermind group. If you haven't already, you can go to gsdmode.com. Right on the front page, there's a link there. Click that. We'll get you added right away. A lot of cool stuff in there, a lot of masterminds. We're bringing a lot of Facebook Live, different stuff in there they have access to that you can't get anywhere else. And lastly, I want to give our sponsors a quick shout out that make this show possible. So our first sponsor is my personal 90-day mastery bootcamp. This is my personal mentorship training program where I give you everything that I do inside my business, right? You get my entire playbook. We have 12 live, 3+ hour long training sessions. You get daily access to me inside the program. There's a bunch of bonus bonus training sessions. You get access to every single thing that I do inside my business. All my tracking forms, all my presentations, checklists, lead generation tactics, lead follow-up tactics, team contracts, and so much more, you guys. There's nothing that compares to this program. You get full access to everything that I do inside my company. I hold nothing back. Go check us out, www.90daymastery.com, where you can learn more information, see future dates, see testimonials, all that fun shite. If you decide to join, make sure to plug in Live Mastery inside the promo code, all one word, all together, all caps. That'll save you 500 bones on the program, so you get it for only $997, which is a freaking steal, or 3 payments of $333. Our next sponsor is PerfectStormNow.com. So PerfectStormNow.com is an insanely effective lead generation website for realtors, and now offers a website and CRM combo with all my custom personal follow-up drips, all of my scripts that are inside there, right? So there's no guesswork. And when a lead comes in, based on the lead source, you're gonna know exactly what to say, when to say, how to say. All of it's just auto-filled, and we made it where it's dummy-proof. I mean, this system is as powerful, if not more powerful, in my opinion, than the $1,000 plus monthly websites, and it's only $199 a month. So go to PerfectStormNow.com. You can check out in-depth demos, see more testimonials, learn more information on it, all that cool jazz. Our last sponsor is EMF. So Optimized Life Nutrition has created the most powerful nootropic on the planet called EMF, energy, memory, focus. So if you're like me and you want insane energy, improved memory, an extremely intense focus, this is the best product that money can buy, you guys. I personally take it every single day before I do webinars, before I do things like this, man. I'm always taking this product to go out there and enhance, again, my focus, my intensity, my memory, every aspect of it. So go out there and check right now on www.optimizedlifenutrition.com, where you can learn more about EMF. Lastly, you guys, if you want to be like me and the rest of the GSD crew, as well as my real estate team and so many others that listen to this, listen to the show and support the show, make sure you're rocking this GSD mode gear, man. We want to go out there and spread the love, spread the word, spread the GSD mode name. So on the site, gsdmode.com, we have men's shirts, women's shirts. We're starting to run a lot new apparel through the site, so you see a lot more coming as well. So make sure to go check out the site, pick that up, have some fun. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.